Welcome back to Kamen Review, episode 152. We're reviewing the 40th anniversary movie, O's Deno, all Comers, let's go. That's the movie, right? Let's go, Comers. Yep. Now, movie opens up with Edgy battling an Enneagram. He thinks it's one of the Yummies, but it's like, wait, no coins. What's going on here? No medals. And of course, Aka sees things. Oh, that's not a Yami. And then he falls down some side of like this stairs, and then Deno shows up with Denny Liner. Of course, here's the thing. I know who Deno is because I have seen him in other stuff. I have not watched the series. It is on my list, definitely. It's on my list. Where on my list? Well, if one thing is not, the next one's going to be a different series. So, he shows up with Teddy, that's this blue guy, and Momotaros. By the way, fun fact. The first time I ever saw Denny Layer was actually in the Superior Tension movie. Yep, the first time I ever saw this damn thing. And I see it here, and it's presented really well. We see the owner of the train. We see, like, Naomi, I think her name is. The one looks like she's like a waitress. And there's, like, Momotaros. I'm very familiar with him because I've seen him actually a couple times. Be seen in this movie and also in the third Super Tension movie, where he became one of the Go Raiders. The pink one. All because part of his name is Momo. Yeah. So, the Enneagram, of course, basically that, well, Aka's curious, so him and Eiji proceed to follow him. So I guess all done. And they follow him, like, because apparently it's also this kid who had memories of 40 years prior to this show. Which that kid basically does come to play in this episode. And then they go back in time to 1971. And the date they go back to in this movie is, well, I kid you not. Okay, you want to know the date of this damn thing? I think it's like April of 1971. Which implying in the past this is set between episodes 32 and 33 of the original Kamen Rider series. The problem is who shows up in the movie. Yeah, so it's set in November of 1971. It says basically set between 32 and 33. Yeah, so they live in enneagrams, and then of course Aka basically is, well, he figured he's in the past, he go steal his medals. By the way, he does not know where they are at this point in time. He just goes steal them. Of course, basically, well, Eddie tries to stop him, and he falls right on top of basically Aka's arm because he's separated from the body. And one of his medals gets left behind. And it's picked up, after everybody leaves, gets picked up by a shocker combatman who proceeds to give it to General Black, who should not be here, by the way. He does not arrive until later on in the series. Why the heck is he here? Don't know. By the way, this is not the original actor playing him in this movie. Nope. They changed him. Those of you thinking, why did they change his actor? And for one thing, he looks older in this movie. Yeah, for some reason he looks older. Now, when he appeared in V3, it was the same actor. But the one who appeared here, now the original actor is, let's see, if I can find him. His name is Mosabaru Nawa. Now, those of you curious though, is this guy still alive? Let's see. According to this, he's still very much alive. Doesn't say he's dead. Maybe they couldn't find him. Yeah. Here he's played by an actor by the name of Suzuko Fukumoto. Yeah, don't know why they decided to change his actor. Oh, in case you're curious though, does he transform into a chameleon like he does in the original series? He does. Oh, he most certainly does. And then, of course, Eva gets back to Prez and... this looks different. Why is it so quiet? And then some kids end up stealing, well, the medals, which... Okay, now, the case of the medals thing, that's actually a bit of a continuity error here, because you could say this is set presumably before the events at the end of the series, but at the time when it came out, basically, he didn't have a lot of medals he has there. Because it looks almost full, given the fact that, well, he didn't have all the medals at this point in time. By the way, this movie mentions none of the Greeds. None. They're not even in this movie at all. Which I'm thinking, really? You have... He knows this part of the movie, yes, but it's an alternate version of her, but those of you curious, where are the Greeds? Don't know. They're not in this movie. There is a possibility the actor may have passed away. Oh no, he's still very much alive. Why they can't bring him back? It's a big mystery. The guy was still very much alive. Oh, in case you're curious, how old was he when he did Kamen Rider? He was pushing 40 when he did Kamen Rider. He was like 37 when he did Kamen Rider. And since it's been 40 years, that would make him... Actually, may have been like 38. He may have been 78 years old. He may have just been too old to play the actor, to play the character. So, and they get back to the present, and then for some reason they're accosted by the police, who tries to actually arrest them. And it turns out these actually are not the real police. These are actually just shocker police. And they beat him up. They go for them. And of course, basically, of course, worry about the kids. Ak gets separated. And then all of a sudden, the original Kamen Riders show up. Yes, they show up here. But they turn on O's. But when Edgy turns on O's, they're like, really? He's a writer? How does he know for Shocker? Like, I thought all the cyborgs were Shocker. And he's like, cyborgs? What are you talking about, cyborgs? Yeah, Edgy's not a cyborg. He's never been a cyborg at all. So, yeah. Then, of course, basically, like, he's being up by the Raider ones. And then they found out, okay, so, apparently, after Akis was left behind in 1971, after Jack picked it up, he gave it to the Shocker leader, who then merged with a different metal to form Shocker Greed. The Double Raiders were defeated, which, by the way, this actually is an error on the movie's part, because it's soon that the upgraded ones show up at this point, but they did not. Hongo was not actually in Japan at this point in time of the series. No, he was actually out of the country. Behind the scenes, the reason why, because he was suffering from a leg injury. So they've been brainwashed by Shocker to work for them. And according to this timeline, they're the only writers. There are no others. None. So then they go back in time. O's have to stay behind. When he runs into Hina, he's like, Hina-chan, good to see you. She's like, who are you? Yeah, by the way, they do in fact find the cafe that they normally hang out at. Yeah, it's basically, it apparently closed down at some point. And here's a question in this timeline, like, where the heck is the owner of the cafe? Don't know. They never say. And they do in fact get back his medal, so they can morph. Well, he can henshin, yes. Yep. And that happens there. So it was actually I could find out about it, and then eventually so Akka goes back in time with them to 1971, and of course Deno goes out with his people to grab the medal after it's dropped. They grab it immediately. One minute afterwards, they get the medal, and then of course basically because it's Akka's medal and this actually is not. This next part is actually not his fault. This actually is Momotaro's fault. So he does admit it. He ends up breaking a window, shaking it with more medals, so he ends up dropping out the window for the train. And then, of course, basically where, the current Deno guy, Momotaro, Teddy, and the kids who follow them all proceed to go after the medals, where they proceed to destroy all of them but one. One of them actually Jeremiah still gets his hand on one of them, though in different locations this time. Then, the kids, they run into a girl named Miko, who is one of the Kamen Scouts. Yes, this part is actually correct. Oh, kind of, yes. If I remember correctly, I think it showed up a little bit later, the Ranger Scouts. Yes, I think they do. Let's see. Okay, Noko. And those of you curious, what was the first time they appeared? They actually did that first appearance in episode 74. Which, by the way, they do get the outfits correct. Which, good job, basically, on the movie, remembering what their outfits look like. The white shirts, the red ties, and the medal. So they look a little different. I do like the fact they updated it for this movie. And, of course, boys think that the Kamen Scouts are lame. So they apologize for it. And then apparently then more monsters show up. Yes. So in this flashback, we see several monsters. One of whom should not be here at this point in time, probably because time has been altered. We see several Shaka monsters aside from General Black, of course. In this flashback, we see Sinoju. Well, we see him. Yep. Yeah, he actually first appeared in Kamen Rider vs. Shocker. I think it was one of the movies. He's not the only one. We also have Smoling King. Yep, he appears here. First appearance since All Raiders is during the first appearance in a Decade movie. We also have Ika Devil, aka Dr. Death. Gargadena, aka Ambassador Hell. Beaded Lizard Man. Jaguar Man. There's a couple others I'll get to them. So the riders show up, and of course, basically that then they finding the chakra base really easily, which under a lake, which I think this is true. Except in the original series, they didn't go here to the final episode, episode 98, Which, the scene itself was a great recreation of episode 98, but they added in Dino there, which I thought was really cool. And like, oh, you're the Great Leader Shocker, except that the first one I see is not the Shocker Leader, it's actually General Black, who should not be here. They probably put him here because he was a member of Shocker. Well, he's probably Gale Shocker, not the original Shocker, mind you. And then we have the real leader show up. By the way, the leader of this movie has had this like a yellow medallion in the movie, which he didn't wear that in the original series. Not sure why they had him wear it here for, okay. And then, of course, basically, everyone's like fighting all the monsters. And then 2 proceeds to take off his mask, which he did do that in the original series. Yeah, he did do that. Which, oh, by the way, fun fact number 2, he is voiced, just so we don't see him out of the suit, that is actually the original actor's voice. Yes, they actually voiced Takashi. You're like, really? Yep, really. Yeah, they brought him back for this movie, which I thought that was so cool, the fact they brought him back here. Yeah, Hayato. Yeah, they actually did make his actor here for this very movie, and it is his voice. Yep, I have heard it's actually his voice, so good on basically the studio, good on Toei for bringing him back for this movie because all the stuff he went behind, all this would have with him between the years. I think this was also the most recent time that he did the voiceover for, because the man was apparently got burned. But yeah, he did reprise. Yeah, he reprised over this movie. Yep. This actually was the first thing he did voice-wise since the movie where they had the birth of the 10th Kamen Rider. Yep. Like, we didn't see him in person, but yeah, we did hear his voice. So good on basically them for doing that. Okay, but in case you're curious though, what about Hongo, the original Kamen Rider? Did he... What was he here voice-wise in this movie? Yep. Yes, he was. Another good job on their part. Yep. Oh, by the way, new Deno, his name is Kotaro. Yeah, he's not from the original show. It's actually somebody else. He's from the films. Mm-hmm. He's apparently the grandson of the original Deno. Yep. And then this movie is Momotaro's. Which, if you look at basically what the guy looks like, you see the posters for Deno, it's him in the suit. Yep. So then, of course, they get sort of supposed to defeat him, but don't worry. And then, of course, Nabuki, he gets left behind in the past when they're trying to free him. By the way, when they're basically everyone's outside, and then for some strange reason, a Destron mutant shows up. Yes. Which one? Kami Bazooka. Which you see this movie, you're like, wait, what the heck is he doing here? Which, yeah, his appearance in this movie is weird. Like, why is he here? He's a Destron mutant. Why the heck is he here? It just seems so weird. By the way, this was the first time the monster appeared since the episode 2 of V3. Which, he did die. And we also see another monster who has nothing to do with Shocker, but yeah, he's in the movie, Tiger Rod. A character who appeared only once. Yeah, and prior to this movie, he only appeared in the 10th verse movie. And we also see, get this, let's see what. Let's see here. No, not that one. They actually included a monster in here. Yeah, here he is. Gamayaro. Yeah, character appeared in 3 episodes of the original series. Yeah, he's here for some reason. Which, I think the only change made to him for this era is, I mean, when I saw it, like, wow, it looked like virtually the same suit. Yeah, this is the first time he appeared since his death back in episode 97 of the original Kamen Rider series. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, when they mask it, it's snake form. Underneath it, we do see the one-eye thing. For some reason, they don't take the snake part out, because in the original show, when they took off it's a snake, and then they take out the snake part, it's just a Cyclops thing. What the heck the Great Leader is, they never actually really explain in the show itself. And then, of course, the turtle disappears. They supposedly get defeated by, Greed Monster, and then, of course, around present day. We see O's, where he's basically somehow got himself a writer thing, which I'm like, where the heck get that, given the fact that who knows if the Foundation exists in this timeline, so he begins to get his hands on it. He's battling the Shocker Goons, or the Shocker Kamen Men, until the monsters best he can. Deno rides back. Teddy gets trapped in the past because, by the way, also, the Dendy Liner, it gets shot at by Kamen Bazooka. It gets shot at them. Yeah, he basically fires at a freaking train. Because Dendy Liner's a train, and they have to go back to the present, and they think, it's fixed. Well, there's one alteration, we'll get to that. So, then Deno's belt gets knocked off him somehow. Now, Momotaro's basically managed to survive only one arm, which is weird. How the heck basically is he able to survive only one arm, which is kind of odd. Kind of same thing with Akka. How is he alive even though he's got one arm? Mystery. So then the 3 are captured by Shocker, and then pulling straight out of the Showa era, they string up on Shocker crosses. And General Black Republication. Shocker is there. And of course, like about justice, and then of course, the original Kamen. By the way, there's also those thing where the kids actually find a time capsule with the red uniforms, the medals, and a note. And they have 5 messages for the Kamen Riders to get to that. So then, of course, the kids put on the uniforms. Hannah does not put on a uniform for some reason, probably because it's better, because she's very tall. So then the kids try to get back, basically, the O's henshin device back to Edgy. And then, of course, basically, it's like, and then the Raiders and the Double Raiders show up because, it's the Enforcers of a Shocker. And when they were just like, that's it. Ha ha ha. We're going to wait for this moment. Yep, they're actually not on the side of Shocker. They're basically their enemy once again. So basically, then we see this mysterious old man. He actually has a play at the end of the movie. And then, of course, the current Deno and O's and Akka, they all get freed. They all transform. They do a lot of fighting. It's like, there's only 4 of you. How can you take on all of Shocker? And then all of a sudden, V3, Black, Rider Man, which you all see the crowd just cheering like crazy for this. We also see Stronger, Sky Rider, Super 1. Screw his act, he's a scumbag. No, not the actor's movie, the guy who originally played Super 1, because he's a freaking scumbag. ZX, Black RX. You're thinking, why the heck is Black and Black RX separated? Kamen Rider Decade, everybody. Like, how are we all here? And then the older shows, I'm like, oh, they'll always be Kamen Riders because basically it's all in their hearts. And then we see Shin, Zio, and Jay from the movies from the 90s. And then it's Kabuto, Agato, Riki, yes, Fives, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, Kiva, Decade, yes, Decade is here, along with Double, which they have the morph, which that was so cool to have here. And they're all basically just wiping the floor. I even like the fact that X actually got an Alpha Gas. I thought that was so cool. The fact that it was a great continuity now because these two were bitter enemies in X, which was so awesome. And of course, like Yusoi, they have basically just dragged out to a quarry area where Shakaguri eventually is taken care of by the Riders, by the Raider Sub-Raiders. Oh, by the way, there's this really cool thing I forgot to mention here. So, we had the leaders of the various organizations that throughout the entire Kamen Rider. Though, we have, get this. So, we have Get-On from Amazon. Well, we have one representative. Yum Kamo. Even though he's technically from Get-On, he's actually from Decade. Yeah, Get-On definitely was an organization from Amazon. Definitely. But this monster's from the Ultra Universe Amazons. We have representing the Government Darkness, we have Abagus and King Dark himself. Yeah, his appearance in the movie was... Anybody who sees this is very surprised in the fact he's even here. And we also see General Shadow Denzer Army. No Black Satan here. No Black Satan. Jin Dogma, who are the bad guys from Super 1. Gorgum, the villains from Black. Even Shadow Moon is here. We have General Jug representing the Crisis Empire. No Emperor Crisis here. We have Cyborg Level 2 from the Institute Super Science and Shin movie. We have Nedon, who is basically, well, we have basically Doros and Fog Mother. Yeah, we have the main bad guy from Zio. Grongi, which are the villains from Kuga. Which we have Ngamo Zeta. Yeah, except the ones that appear here are... The first one's not from the show. The second one is La Del Gu. Yeah, he basically is in the show. Third one, Zu Gamagu. Yeah, he's the Bat one. Yeah, he appears here. There's also Zu Zanda. Yeah, Big Brawler. Yeah, he's from the original. He's from that series too. Ma Grama Ba. Yes, the one of the women. Yeah, she's here. The Lords from Agato. Mostly it's Ella Water, Pantherus Lucas, Callicunus, Mirror Monsters. You think what series that came from? Commodore Riki, I will be discussing in the future. When? You'll find out soon. Orpak from Fives. Seems like the mythological creatures. The Undead from Commodore Blade. Mukaparo from Hibiki. Worms from Kabuto. The Agram, some of the monsters. Fengor from Kiva. Some Air World monsters like Paradox Undead, who is from Decade. Tiger Oprah. Yeah, basically they threw like 3 monsters from Decade in here. Chevron apparently has been the Ward of RX, which is interesting. And then we have the Depots from Kamen W. Okay, so before I continue here, so where in fact the main writers did they keep their voice? Did they keep the same voice for this movie? Like for example, V3. Yep. Writer Man, no. And there's a reason why. He died in the act of 1986. X. Did he come back to this movie? He did not. Nope. He's one they did not have. Amazon. Nope, he never came back. They brought a replacement actor to play him. A guy by the name of Tamazu Siki. Which, yeah, he did do it for this movie. I think. Super 1, this is before the actor went on the run. I don't think he's actually in the movie. No. No, it's not him. If all the people show up here, yeah, so, and then taking on King Dark, and then, of course, the ground starts shaking. And then we have, behind me, this is basically the Great Lear Shocker's master, Great Lear Colossus, this gigantic rock monster. Which I'm sure it's a representation of the rock monster from Stronger, just basically a take on it. And, like, oh crap, how are we taking anything? And then all of a sudden, all the secondary writers show up. Every single one, including Burton himself, show up. And of course, oh hi Date! And they all got on the motorcycles and do all-rider break. And they all just smash right through Colossus, destroy him. And with that, basically, right, the Shocker is defeated. And then, of course, then they'll probably just fix it to be back normal. Before that, basically, they have an old man who turns out actually to be Nikki. But apparently it's Masaru's father. He apparently married Nikal, the girl from the past. And he's the one basically who invented the brainwashing. And, yeah, and the Ultimate Meadows, they're basically dissolved. And they go off their own separate ways. But the Zone of the Night movie was awesome. Oh yeah, definitely. Amazing movie. Oh, and the writers show up here for second writers. We have G3X, Knight, Zia, Garon, Ibiki, Garok, Xenos, Iga, Dade, Excel, though we don't see all of them, but they apparently confirm they're here. Birth, obviously. Gil, Zoda, Delta, Chance, Tokri, The Bee, Saga, Scissors, Ria, Gi, Odin, OG, Tiger, Emperor, Fem, Ruga, Vergi, Langi, Langel, Zenki, Sawsword, Kickhopper, Drake, Punchhopper, Dark Kabuto. Oh, there's even a brief scene where the conductor in the movie actually brought in 4 heroes who have nothing to do with Kamen Rider, only because basically it's the creator's birthday in this movie. They brought in Kakaider, Kakaider01, Izzleman, and Zombat. Fun fact about Zombat, he's actually played by the actor to play B3, loving the character. And apparently there was an appearance here by Electro Wave Human Tackle, I didn't see in the movie. which it couldn't be the original actress because I think she's since passed away. Yeah, she passed away at 86, the age of 27 of a severe asthma attack. So it was probably a replacement. Arisa Coma probably played her in the movie. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, she was not in the movie. She was in one of the spin-off stuff. But yeah, this movie was awesome. It did a bit of some continuity gifts here in the movie. But you might be thinking, is this movie the final appearance of the Shocker leader? No. He previously made an appearance in a movie related to the Double. Mm-hmm. After this, he was featured in a special with Drive. Apparently, one super tension movie, Kamen Rider 3. Yeah, and most important, he was just in some net specials after this. His last appearance was in Kamen Rider Beyond Generations, which came out a little over 3 years ago. Yes, it's a movie for Cyber. It's a movie for Revice and Saber. Mm-hmm. But that was his last appearance to date. But it's always great to see Shocker. I love the concept of the group. Yeah. Not much to say this movie. It's awesome. And, well, I've been talking quite a while, so now to rest. Because I've still got 2 more episodes left to go on my break. And then next up, basically, after that, is going to be a review for ReZero. And afterwards, I'm going to start Farron. Yep. Next view.